us today, we are hanging out with the 2022 Mercedes-Benz C-Class. It's been a long time coming and the car is finally here. It's produced locally in East London, and right now we are spending our own fair time with the vehicle. I'll be taking you through from first impressions to driving experience to all the way till the end what I think of this car and very cool features that you should look out for. It's packed with tech, and you know I love tech, so let's get cracking. In case you're wondering just how significant this new C-Class is, Mercedes has managed to move about 10 million units of the previous generation C-Class models. That's a big deal, and that just shows you how much Mercedes has put into this vehicle. Looking at the looks first, you can see up front that the grille is completely new on the C-Class. So are the lights. It's the same technology that you'll find on the rest of the Mercedes lineup. What you can see is that there's a lot of resemblance from the A-Class as well, and a little bit from the S-Class, especially when you start moving to the sides of the body and to the back as well. Once you're at the back, you'll see that the lighting and even the looks are those from the E-Class that was launched a few months ago. And you can see a lot of design cues from the S-Class as well. So this car is really incredible. You'll notice that it also is longer. Mercedes have actually confirmed it is, which increases the space inside the vehicle and makes it much more comfortable for those riding with you. Let's step inside so that I can show you what you can look forward to once you're inside the vehicle. Sitting here inside the new C-Class is actually a good feeling. A feeling that I would find whichever excuse to prolong it a bit. But before we do, I think let's talk about what I see in front of me, which is this steering wheel over here. There's actually a choice of two that you can choose from. One with the double spokes on each side, like I have here, or one with just one uniform bar that goes across the sides. It made its debut about a year ago, and it's quite a nicely designed steering wheel, if I may add, with haptic feedback on either sides. So there are no more buttons anymore. And then behind it is this super bright LCD screen, which shows all my driver information from the speed that I'm going with. If I want to do adaptive cruise control, to show all the information there. And then I can change it as well to whichever view I want to change it to. If you are familiar with the previous models, you'll remember that Mercedes actually had one long screen in front of you. It was actually two panels combined to make one, where the front of it, or the first portion, was dedicated to all your driver aid, and then the infotainment screen was to my left. It's done away with that, and now what you have is this big screen over here. And I think it's all thanks to Tesla, because we saw this in Tesla models when they initially debuted, and now Mercedes-Benz has sort of incorporated the same look inside the vehicle. It's super big. I think this is the 11-inch option that we have here. You can also choose a 9-inch option when you're speccing out the car however you wish. It's super bright, super clear, and look, man, it has everything that you could ever want or need to control very close to you, just at the touch of a few buttons. I know a lot of people are against a lot of these manufacturers going buttonless, but Mercedes has incorporated everything nicely for you so that you don't actually struggle or look around to find where things are. And then underneath that is just this bar here with the actual buttons. Just one of them is a button, and then the others are also touch sensitive, or give you haptic feedback as you control them. So what you have from the left is your driver mode, where you can select from dynamic to comfort, to sport, or sport plus if you wish. Right next to that is a button for all your cameras and sensors, and another one for all the car settings. That's followed up by your hazards, and then there is a fingerprint reader, which actually allows you to log into the vehicle, which I'll talk about in a bit. And right next to that is a power on and off, and then 4 sound settings. I think what Mercedes have done is that they've left this unchanged because for our market, because for the left-hand market, the volume control is actually still on this side. It's actually weird here because you would want your passengers to at least have a say when it comes to volume sometimes, but now it's on my side. But nonetheless, a very cool feature. And then you move down towards where you can put in your USBs and then all your phones, and then it moves to the back of the vehicle. I think I want to talk about a bit more about the software in this car and what Mercedes has incorporated to make it great and fits seamlessly within your lifestyle if you want to be using your smartphone a lot. So offline, Harmonix and I were actually chatting about how we never actually get this detailed on reviews, but I think this is a really cool feature and will be beneficial for those considering the C-Class. So earlier I spoke about this fingerprint reader over here, and I just want to talk a bit about what happens with it or what it's linked to. So what you find or what you have is the Mercedes Me app. Once you download that and register your details, including the car's details, and you link the two, what happens is that you can use your fingerprint to log into the vehicle. What it does is that it'll take all your preferences that you've obviously told the app about, what you prefer in the car, etc., and your settings while you're driving as well. Once you click here with your finger, everything will start to load, and will basically pull up all your preferences, how you prefer the car to be, temperature, music, your favorite radio stations, etc. That's the cool feature about this vehicle. So everything is digital. What you can do with that app as well is also open or lock and unlock the vehicle and then precondition it to whatever temperatures you want. Say it's in the sun and you want it cooler once you start driving. You can do all of that with the digital services, which is really, really cool on the new C-Class. So now I'm in the back of the C-Class, and I must say it's quite a snug area or place to find yourself in. For someone that of my height, and I'm 1.89, I struggle a bit to get in here. For once, seats have to move forward a bit just to make sure that I'm comfortable in here. But I can imagine for the average person of average height, this is quite, comfortable, and they can come in and out with ease. I don't really get to sit in the back seats on these or a lot of the cars that we review, and I must say I'm quite disappointed with this one because there isn't a lot that I can do but sit and enjoy the ride. For one, I do not have any controls when it comes to the climate at the back. I have to ask the driver for them to, or the passenger in the front, for them to adjust that for me. There are no USB outlets as well, although they are inside here. It would have been nicer for me to actually have control over that with ease. And I can't, the seats stay as they are. You can't adjust them anyway. There's no heating at the back for the seats either, so it does quite come short, but it does look good, I must add. Look, the red stitching really adds, that sense of luxury and premium to the car. But other than that, that's it. And the sunroof, before I forget. Other than that, there isn't really much, but let's sit and enjoy the ride. So we've pretty much come to the end of my time with the 2022 Mercedes-Benz C-Class. But before we close things off, let me share my ride impressions with you. Look, comparing this model to the outgoing, or rather the previous generation of the C-Class, Mercedes has done a lot of work into making sure that you enjoy this car and the ride quality is very smooth. That's the first thing you notice once you get behind the wheel of this car. Well, in terms of space, there is tons of space if you're sitting in the front, especially for me, someone that's really tall. But once you start moving to the back, it becomes a bit of a struggle and it becomes tight. The other thing is the suspension on this car. It's not an S suspension though, that you'll find in the S-Class, but Mercedes has also refined this one to make sure that, look, you enjoy the drive, whichever conditions you are in. Another cool thing about this car is the rear axle. You know, when a car is long, you kind of like struggle to maneuver it when you're parking or when you're turning. The rear axle of this car has a 2-degree turning circumference. It's 10 degrees in the S-Class, but here they've made provision with that 2 degrees, but it goes a long way to make sure that, look, wherever you're moving around, the car can do that easily. And that's super cool. You should actually see what it looks like. Look, all the negatives aside, the C-Class is really something to admire, especially from a looks front, and what they've done with the package is really, really incredible. And that's pretty much my time with the 2022 Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Please let me know what you think of this review. All criticism welcome in the comments below, and please share it with your family and friends. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with the latest content. Until next time, have a good one.